What became so popular at your school that the teachers had to ban it? So this was back in 8th grade, 2013-ish, and it's still one of the weirdest things I've ever been part of, GL. It all started when Calvin, this super quiet kid who always wore the same 3 hoodies, brought in his mom's old Tamagotchi to school one day. Most of us had never even seen one in real life before. Like we knew what they were, but they were definitely before our time. Calvin wasn't even trying to show it off or anything. He was just quietly taking care of this little pixelated creature during lunch. I remember Zachary, who was basically the kid everyone wanted to be friends with, noticed it, and instead of making fun of Calvin like you'd expect in middle school, he thought it was the coolest thing ever, asked if he could hold it, was super careful with it, and by the end of lunch, was asking Calvin where he could get one. Within a week, Zachary had somehow convinced his mom to buy him one off eBay. But not just any Tamagotchi. He showed up with this limited edition translucent blue one that apparently was worth like $70. Suddenly, everyone was crowding around him at lunch, and Calvin, who started this whole thing, was actually included in the popular circle for once. 2 weeks later, there were at least 15 Tamagotchis in our grade. People were bringing them to class, hiding them in pencil cases, taking bathroom breaks, just to feed their virtual pets. Our math teacher, Miss Patel, was the first to notice something was up when half the class kept asking for hall passes at suspicious intervals. That's when things got interesting. See, not everyone could convince their parents to buy them a Tamagotchi, especially since they were going for crazy prices online. So an entire underground economy developed. Kids who were good at drawing started making paper Tamagotchis that they'd update for you at lunch if you paid them with snacks. Zachary, being Zachary, somehow acquired 3 more Tamagotchis and started renting them out for a day at a time for $2. I finally got my own when my cousin Selena visited and gave me her old one. It was this basic white model with a crack in the screen, but it worked, and that's all that mattered. The thing is, these little devices became status symbols. The rarer your Tamagotchi, the cooler you were. Kids who had the anniversary editions or Japanese imports basically became royalty. Then, Zariah, who was always doing the most, brought in this Tamagotchi station thing that could connect different Tamagotchis and let them interact. Suddenly, we're having Tamagotchi playdates and marriages in the cafeteria. People were becoming godparents to each other's digital pets. I'm not even making this up. The teachers were annoyed, but mostly tolerated it until the incident trademark. It happened during a school assembly about standardized testing. Principal Weber was explaining something boring about number 2 pencils, when suddenly there was this chorus of electronic beeping, like at least 30 different Tamagotchis all going off at once. Someone had apparently spread a rumor that if everyone set their Tamagotchi clocks to the same time, they could all interact wirelessly, which wasn't even possible with most models. Weber stopped mid-sentence. The beeping continued. He asked everyone to please silence their electronic devices. More beeping. Then Piper, who was sitting next to me, whispered that her Tamagotchi was dying and she had to feed it right now or 6 days of care would be wasted. The next day, there was an announcement. All virtual pets and similar electronic toys were officially banned from school premises. Any found would be confiscated until the end of the semester. But that didn't stop us. If anything, it made the whole thing more exciting. Kids were hiding Tamagotchis in specially sewn pockets. Someone started a Tamagotchi daycare service where they'd take care of your pet during school hours for $1 a day. There were lookouts posted to warn when teachers were coming. The teachers started doing random desk checks. Kids were getting detentions. Parents were being called. And through it all, Calvin, the kid who started everything, just kept quietly taking care of his original Tamagotchi, somehow never getting caught. The ban lasted until summer break, by which point most kids had moved on to the next trend anyway. But for those 3 chaotic months, our entire grade's social hierarchy was determined by tiny pixelated pets from the 90s. Sometimes I wonder if Miss Patel still has that box of confiscated Tamagotchis in her classroom closet. There's probably at least $500 worth of dead virtual pets in there, LMAO.